All right, game 5. Um, let's make sure the sounds are off. Yeah, they should be off. Yeah, opponent seems to recognize me. Can't quite say I completely remember this opponent. Uh, but yeah, always nice to have a friendly last match. Um, all right. Well, I think this will be a keep. I mean, Yeah, I've got turn 1, turn 2, and turn 3 plays. Um, I'll let my opponent know uh, about my YouTube channel in case he wants to watch these matches. Yep. All right. Let's see. Oh, it's Dredge. Ooh. Um. Yeah. So this is where I can show how I approach the Dredge matchup. And so it could have been a streak of good luck. But I did win probably 75% at least of my recent Dredge matches. The last one, the very very last Dredge match I played, I did lose, but I felt like I very much was in the game, and I think the opponent chained together multiple uh multiple, what do you call them, cathartic reunions, and maybe like an ox on top of it all. And from what I remember, the last time I played Dredge, they overtaxed my relic. So I think I only had one relic, and you know they they blew one of their cathartic reunions and dredged enough that I had to pop it, and then I couldn't draw another one, and I think they kind of overpowered it, which does happen, but usually more often than not, popping a relic is going to set them back enough that usually you can draw another one in time, in my experience, especially since there's so much card draw in the deck. I mean, game 1 is just such a difficult matchup. I think I'm gonna discard the Bone Crusher and the Sunbait Canyon. This is kind of an aggro type matchup. Um, I mean, really, what I'm looking for is I'm looking for prowess creatures and lava darts and lightning bolts and trying to rush them as frantically as possible. Because this is definitely one of those decks that you cannot possibly outgrind. It's impossible unless you have graveyard removal. This is one of the few decks, other than maybe like some of those reclamation decks that have like Factor Fiction and Nexus of Fate and Jace the Mind Sculptor, and other than some of those decks that are basically built on the premise that if they can get going, you will never outcard advantage them. This is kind of like that, except it's using the graveyard instead of Wilderness Reclamation. I think I'm just gonna concede here. No, I mean, no, you know what? I mean, no, I'll play it out. And I think what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna go after the Narcomoeba, try to get a good attack in. Um, you know, well, they got a conflagrate, so no, but I think I'm just going to play a Seasoned Pyromancer. Maybe set up some good blocks. Um, I don't know. If I wasn't recording this game, I'd probably just concede. But if definitely if I was watching this, I'd just be curious to see if there was any possibility to come back. And probably it is objectively just better to just see if there's some way I can somehow squeak out a win. So maybe it actually works to my advantage here that I'm recording and I'm trying to make it more interesting than me insta scooping. Um, Particularly because I don't think I'm really necessarily hiding much. I don't think there's really anything I can show here that will you know be a problem for me later. Um, so I got to be mindful of conflagrate. That means I'm effectively at 7 life. So I can't take all of this. Then I'm dead. So yeah, it's pretty easy block here. Let's bring me down to 8. I'm just out of range. And I mean, it seems pretty darn unlikely that I can come back. But at least I can say I tried. But yeah, Dredge is not really. This is not one of those matchups where without graveyard hate in game one, um, you have a ton of hope. Ox is probably their play here. Not Yeah, this is. I mean, they've got lethal with Wait, did they conflagrate? Yeah, they did. Do they have another one? Yeah, but they got a Bloodghast. Well, I don't know. I mean, again, I'm gonna play this out, but I find this extremely, extremely unlikely that I'm going to come back. I think I have to play for Obosh. Let's see. I can Lava Dart, Flashback, and hope I draw land. Block down to 3. It's such a lost cause, but I mean, hey, I do have something to play for. Hope they've got literal nothing. Hope they don't draw a Creeping Chill, Lava Dart, Flashback, block. Try to draw, hopefully draw a land for Obosh. And I don't know. Well, there goes that. There goes that plan. Just play it out and see. If nothing else, I mean, I had the opportunity to see more of what they're playing. So, can't say that this wasn't without some of its value. And I'll just let them have a win with a big damage lead. So, -11. Maybe there's some value to just having an awesome big spike of damage that doesn't happen all the time. So pretty obvious here. We bring in relics. That's a no-brainer. Flame Slash isn't really needed. The only creature that, well, actually, let's think about this a little more. Dealing with Ox is not to be underestimated. Prized Amalgam can be an annoying blocker, but it's really having extra answers to Ox, because that's the thing. If you've got enough answers to Ox, you don't have to blow your relic you don't have to blow your relic as much. So I might still end up pointing this out, but I'm not going to instantly start with this. I'm going to start with, I think, probably Firebolt. It is a sorcery. Yeah, it neither blocks nor necessarily deals with that much. Bone Crusher Giant is probably the next cut. It is it can block Ox, but it is susceptible to removal. So that is a problem. Of course, all creatures are. I do want to bring in some Blood Moons though, and I like Lava Dart both because it enables me to have possible quick kills, save creatures from conflagrate. Yeah, I think actually, I think all 4 Blood Moons is actually where I want to be. There's some value to playing Kozilek's Return possibly, but in my experience, if they have that many creatures on the battlefield, usually they've dredged a lot, and usually that's the end of the game anyway. Blood Moon might seem a little odd because they do have access to most of the spells that they want to cast with red mana. But sometimes when you have their graveyard under control with Relic, sometimes they create problems just looping Stinkweed Imps. And sometimes they play Dark Blast, so you prevent that recursion. But the main reason is actually it prevents Life from the Loam recursion, and sometimes they need Life from the Loam. Sometimes that's a very important component for them. Uh, you know, this is the first time where it's a little bit hard for me to exactly fully articulate exactly why I've really been liking Blood Moon, but I have. It's not a perfect card by any stretch of the imagination, but I think it really, any little thing that can help throw them off balance, possibly buy me more time. Like it does enough. Obviously I can't keep this. It doesn't have Relic. My plan in the Dredge matchup is to bolt a Relic, and thankfully I don't have to go to like 4, which I have done, and I probably would do. This is good. I think Seasoned Pyromancer is a pretty easy pitch because not particularly good in multiples. I have noticed they don't seem to be playing Nature's Claim a lot. If they, realistically, I think I am just going to play out the Relic because if they have Nature's Claim, even if I draw an extra card, I'm still probably likely to lose because I will probably. Yeah, I mean, it would suck if like I'm one card away from my next relic that would keep me in the game if they have Nature's Claim, but I think that the value of possibly killing one of their like just being one card ahead in naturally working on their graveyard is worth it, and it looks like they did take a number of mulligans, so that's good for me. I have to keep Relic up. There's just no way around it. Every single time I try to get feisty and I try to light up the stage, take one turn off, it just never ends up good. As long as I leave up Relic, I've generally been in pretty good shape. That's a lot of times what this game comes down to is patience. Ah, okay. Yeah, I think this is. Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm not going to blow Relic. The question is, do I tap Relics to prevent them from getting a land back, or do I or do I just deal with the Life from the Loam? Let's just deal with the Life from the Loam at end of turn. There was some merit to possibly keeping them off one more land, but I think this is good too. And in order to get to Blood Moon mana, there is temptation to play Light Up the Stage, but I'm just not. If I don't reveal lands, it's just too much of a problem. Yeah, see, this is where I really like that I didn't. Huh. Oh yeah, they might have had that, and I might have forgot about it. Well, I still think, yeah, I still think this is okay. I'm gonna Lightning Bolt the Amalgam at end of turn. So, really, 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 this is a game of patience. I do not need to blow the Relic yet. Not on this. Hopefully I don't have like Ancient Grudge. I generally find that I just cannot like keep Relic open at all times. I have to keep Relic open for sorcery speed, mainly Cathartic Reunion issues they might present. But beyond that, I just I can't get too feisty. And see what I mean about patience? I hope that this demonstrates the soundness of what I am saying. And I really should have tapped Relic first, but hopefully I won't get punished for that. But they had actually a Scalding Tarn to sack anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered. But I really, really do believe that I'm actually quite favored right here, as long as I am patient. As long as I do not jump the gun with the Relic, I think the Conflagrate is fine. I just really cannot pop this until I'm ready, and I really shouldn't put myself in a situation where I'm shields down. You know, as we saw, it's still been quite a while since I've drawn a land. Sometimes I fall into the trap of thinking, well, it's been so long since I've drawn another land. Of course, the next two cards are going to have it. I don't know that. Unless they present some pressing reason for me to have to start digging for a land right away, I don't think I need to. Yeah, I don't think I need to get too risky. But here, I will. I can cast Light Up the Stage because I do have Relic still up. And I can't even play the second. I can also play the second Light Up the Stage. You know, again, I think the way to approach this is don't, like, be too worried about, like, a instant speed Nature's Claim, which might be happening here. But, huh. Maybe they think I'm on burn. Um, I really, this doesn't bother me too much. Interesting. Uh, I'm gonna play the Sunbaked Canyon. Actually, there's really not much upside. I don't have another Light Up the Stage. The reason to play Sunbaked Canyon might be to, for Light Up the Stage purposes. I'm just gonna go ahead and remove. Because, like, you don't want to be in a situation where you have too many lands exiled and you can only play them over so many turns. So, patience. I'm probably going to end up just letting the Soul Scar wither away. Alright, so I think we let this go. If I pop Relic, like they're going to still draw 3 cards, and they can possibly, yeah, just in my experience, you just don't draw this. I mean, you just don't use this right away until you need to. And you see, because I think we're okay here. Yeah, especially since the Flame Slash makes it so they can't Ox this turn. And they don't have any of those ghouls. So I think this is fine. Actually, maybe I'll play out the Soul Scars. Because yeah, I'll play out the Soul Scars. I mean, shields. I mean, like, keeping them off of colored mana does have its virtues, but but also presenting a faster clock. Yeah, I mean, they could conflagrate. That's how it's pronounced, conflagrate. But yeah, I think this is okay. I still think I'm probably not going to blow Relic, even if they go for Ox, because that's another advantage to having more of these creatures, is that I have more. I can probably combine blockers against Ox. I can kill all of my creatures. This is really, really tempting to go for Relic, but I'm just going to stick to my guns, and I'm not gonna blow this. Plus, Life from the Loam is mostly not going to do much with Blood Moon in play. That's one of the main reasons Blood Moon is even in here. Unfortunately, this means they can conflagrate, kill all my creatures. Oh, actually, maybe not, because I can Flashback Lava Dart. That might be worth it if they go 2/2/2 exactly. You know, they can conflagrate and play Ox. Oh, not anymore. Yeah, patience is absolutely the name of this game, and they're displaying patience too, which is good. Which is good play on their part. And see, this is where the Blood Moon is really going to come in handy. And I will play it out. I mean, I want to make sure I can get max value out of Seasoned Pyromancer next turn. I'm not going to crack a land, obviously. I have to keep my mana open. I wonder if this is the Nature's Claim, finally, that we've always been worried about. It'd be odd if they go after Blood Moon instead of Relic, but you know, who knows? Huh. Oh yeah, flashback. I don't really care about this, to be honest. You know, I'm not really going. I don't feel like that is going to cause me to lose the game. You know. And now I'm not taking more damage off of my Horizon lands. Now I will be put to the test if somehow they somehow I end up getting Creeping Shield or hit with something like that, because then they have a lot to bring back. But we'll see. An Ox is coming out most likely. I'm okay with that. That I can deal. That I can handle. What I cannot handle, or it might be a Conflagrate, depending on, I don't know what they got in their hand. But I can, even so, I still, you know, between the Lava Dart in the graveyard and the Seasoned Pyromancer, plus the plus a possible token it might be able to create, plus Obosh I've still got waiting in the wings. I'm not super concerned about the Ox, you know, believe it or not. It's one reason I like the Flame Slashes. I'm a little surprised they didn't go for Conflagrate first, because then they wouldn't, you know, because they're gonna have to discard their hand either way. Um, I will probably have to crack the Relic though in at the end of their turn. But believe it or not, I still like this more. Yeah, okay. So I'm cracking it now. You know, but because the thing is, this actually just deals with more of their action. Actually, even so, it might be correct to be even more patient and let the Creeping Chill go, and then wait till the end of their turn to Relic, because you know the way you lose this matchup is they've got, like, say, a another Cathartic Reunion in their hand, um, and then it's just like, you know, insurmountable, if they, like, go for it again. But then again, they're running low on cards. This is close, but I don't think me going down to 11 is enough of a problem. I could be totally wrong about this. Let's see how many Creeping Chills they've used. So they've got a Conflagrate, which represents 3 damage, plus Creeping Chill, that's another 3 damage, so I'm effectively at 8. 2 more Creeping Chills, I'm at 2. You know, I'm going to err on the side of patience, you know, and this is at the end step. So, you know, yeah, believe it or not, I'm going to err on the side of patience. I just have a strong feeling that they've got a Cathartic Reunion in their hand, and you know, this will just buy me one more turn before they start doing a lot of very difficult things, and I have one more turn to draw into another Relic, which I have a pretty decent chance of, considering I've got this Pyromancer too. Okay. Hopefully I do draw that Relic. Ooh. Well, you know, might have been incorrect, but I'm actually not in the worst of positions. I'm still getting quite aggro on them. Yeah, I think that was correct, but I did obviously have to blow the Relic at the end of their turn. I couldn't let all those creatures come into play. If they had another Cathartic Reunion, that was definitely correct. Um, Casper Chaos is definitely, um, you know, if you check me out, I'm definitely curious to know if you had another Cathartic Reunion, because, or maybe you'll just play one here. Oh, apparently not. Okay, so that answers that. Well, see, but the good news is even if that technically was a misplay, I still might be okay. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So not quite at playing Obosh and putting it in my hand and playing it on the same turn. Um, you know, there might have been some merit to also being further away from from Bloodghast Hasting, but you know, without fetch lands, without yeah. You know, see, they're at 11 cards. Believe it or not, one way I win this matchup is they just run out of gas. You know, if you like remove enough stuff. Sometimes they yeah, there's just not enough stuff left in their deck, and this will be lethal. It's the power of Obosh. Definitely making me feel good about that play because, you know, even though it turned out to be technically a mistake, I think it did play around one of the only ways we might have been able to lose in that situation. And yeah, this will be 8 damage off the Swift Spears and 4 damage off the yeah. Right. Okay. See, uh, definitely patience very important in that match. And I think I'm gonna run it back. I liked. See, I did. I think the Blood Moons really helped. It made it so that the Life from the Loam couldn't keep churning further into their deck, because that is kind of like a permanent Shriekhorn in a sense, you know, like that's one of the problems. That's one of their sources of recursion. Blood Moon helps with that, you know. Every little thing. Make no mistake, the plan is mold to relic. I have to, and you know, sometimes I mold to 3 and it's just good game, you know. But thankfully, I think I have to keep. You know, like, I got one land. I've got relic. Believe it or not, believe it or not, in my experience, I think I'm favored, even though it doesn't, even though it looks kind of sketchy. You know, just that this is the plan. It's worked out pretty well so far. You know, I've played Dredge quite a bit. I've definitely played enough matches and enough matches against Dredge specifically that I feel like I've got a pretty good strategy against them. It has worked. We'll see if it works. You know, and they see they mold down to they mold. I mean, you know, I'm not sure exactly what they mold to, but they mold down to either like 5 or 4 cards. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. One, oh, I mean, this one doesn't count because, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, they mold to 4 cards. And that's also been my experience, too. You know, they could go crazy with a turn to Cathartic Reunion. But in my experience, actually, it's I don't think it's just good luck. You know, part of it I think might be, you know, because they're mulliganing for their hate, for our hate. But I do notice they tend to mulligan a bit more, and they're less likely to have a big Cathartic Reunion turn on turn 2. As a result, you know. So I can also be a little more liberal in keeping sketchy hands with Relic and also mulliganing to Relic. You know, again, just keeping 1 mana up at all times. Um, I am curious to know, actually, from Casper Chaos, if you want to chime in, if you watch my video and want to chime in the comment section, um, what you know, why exactly this is that it's been my experience that generally games 2 and 3 are typically less explosive than game 1. I certainly am interested to hear. I'm just going to play the Relic. Going to be another Prowess trigger, and also this might really keep their graveyard under control without even having to crack it, which is just the dream. I mean, you know, they did mold a 4, but keep in mind, Dredge generates so much card advantage if it gets going that it doesn't actually, like, you know, obviously they would prefer to have 7 cards in hand. Obviously, it's better for them. What I'm just trying to say is, they can and will beat you with only 4 cards in hand. It's happened. All they need is like a Cathartic Reunion, a Stinkweed Imp, and they're pretty much good to go from there. They can generate so much card advantage out of their graveyard. Um, so, you know, definitely them being at 4 cards helped, but it's not like the only reason. Um, I think, yeah, obviously this is fine. And I can light up the stage, look for more lands. You know, obviously I like the situation. Oh my goodness. I mean, you know, if they have a, this might be getting to the point where, yeah, you know, I don't think there's a lot of reason to play the other relic. You know, I expose myself to a blowout if they have waste I mean, what do you call it, blast zone. Um, and I do want to try to dig for more lands with light up the stage here. Well, Well, yeah, I missed an L there, but you know. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you get lucky like this, and I don't know if the opponent's going to see it in lesson until if they watch the video. But I've even got a fourth relic here. This, you know, definitely this was pretty lucky. You know, it doesn't mean that the game's completely over though. Yeah, very nice when the opponent can take it well. I certainly know what it's like to have insane luck against me. Um, you know, I can get a little salty, believe it or not. Even I'd like to think I'd like to think that I control myself pretty well on average, but I have gotten salty, like everybody I think has on occasion. Yeah, they said they could have may have been able to win game two. You see, and that's the thing too. Like, it's very possible that they might have been able to win, um, if they played differently. But make no mistake, um, that doesn't necessarily mean I played incorrectly. Because the reality is it's possible that that I think games two and three might for the Dredge player just be so sufficiently complex that it might it might be one of those situations where it's very unlikely that they're ever going to play completely 100% perfectly. Actually, believe it or not. Oh, interesting. Well, I guess OP. Oh, uh, interesting. Um, I'm not going to show the fourth relic. I just not yet at least. I'll light up the stage. But yeah, the reality is, it's actually I think it's incredibly tricky for them. I actually haven't played Red, so I don't know for sure. It, I don't know if I mean, it's tricky for me, but it actually might be a little bit. Hmm, man, it'd be such a blowout if they play Blast Zone. But I think I gotta try to set myself up somewhat. You know, could be totally wrong, but I'm getting a little choked on mana here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, they're not close to Ox, but I've got the Flame Slash for it anyway. But yeah, it's very possible that it's pretty tricky from their side, probably more tricky from their side than it is for me playing against it. Games two and three. For my side, it's mostly just a test of patience, I find. Um, but it might be very tricky for them. They probably have to sequence very carefully, um, you know, and try to play just enough pressure that will put me in a situation where if I don't blow the relic, they'll probably just barely eke out enough damage to kill me right on this, yeah, just with enough damage, barely. But not, yeah, just enough so that they have enough left over in case I blow my relic. Um, you know, probably that's exactly how it goes, and it's a very tight, tight walk they have to walk. I'm at 6 minutes actually. I gotta speed up. That might be one of their paths to victory here. Is me taking my time. So, I might not be doing as much commentary, but the good news is I am setting up you know, myself for a relatively big turn. Um, actually, I think this probably was a mistake. I could have played this earlier. The reason why I'm playing this out now is that even though it exposes me more, uh, oh man, yeah, you know. Well, I can crack both of these, so I think the play is crack this on their draw step, which is one reason I have a stop on my draw step. You know, yeah. The reason why I can do this is that I can crack the other one if they do have a cathartic reunion. You know, this still might be a little too reckless, you could say, but I have to believe that this is that I'm in a pretty good spot here. You know, what can I say? If I'm not the favorite to win this in this spot, you know, I don't know what to say. But yeah, I don't doubt the opponent. They might have been able to win game two. I don't know, but yeah. Well, good games. If you check out the match, definitely interested to hear where you think you went wrong. You know, and if you think maybe I went wrong in my games, definitely interested to hear that. I do find these matchups quite interesting. You know, I mean, well, now you know how I approach this matchup if we ever play again. Just you know, I try to be as max patient as possible, and my guess is on your side, it's probably just trying to apply exactly the right amount of dredging and the exact amount of like playing cards from your graveyard. Yeah. Well, 4-1, can't complain. Um. Yeah. Not not bad. Didn't get another trophy this time. Uh. But you know, I might play again in the not distant future. I'm not sure if I'm going to record all of my games. I mean, I don't necessarily want my YouTube channel to get completely flooded with games. I'm actually curious to know what you all think. But you know, maybe I'll actually ask that in the wrap up. Um, yeah, seems like the main place where people drop their comments. But yeah, I am interested to know if you guys would like me to err on the side of recording a lot of games. Maybe I don't know. I sometimes I can play a lot. I don't know if I'm going to get in a lot of games. Um, this week necessarily, but um, I don't know. I'm interested to know what you guys think. In theory, I might be able to record a lot of games. I do like to get in a lot of games where I can. I can't always do that, but this weekend maybe I can get in, you know, some number of them. But at the same time, I'm worried about flooding my YouTube channel with like an overabundance of videos. But anyway, this went well, and looking forward to giving my recap.